Welcome back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we're talking Halloween, since it'll be tomorrow when this comes out. But before we get into it, what's up? What's haps? How's it going?
Great. How about you?
I am doing okay. Excited for Halloween, one of my favorite times of year.
Do you have a costume?
Hopefully by now I will. As of recording, I don't fully have a costume, but I'm trying to narrow it down to, like, we talked about Disney banding before, where it's like you kind of put the colors of the person on and not actually dress up as the person.
Oh, that's cool. I've never heard of that. If we've talked about it before, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, so it's like if you wanted to be like Ariel, you would do like a green shirt with or green pants with like a purple shirt or something.
Oh, neat.
And so you kind of incorporate the colors of the character into your whatever you're wearing.
That's
so
cool.
Instead of being outright that character, you're kind of just incorporating it. So
I like that.
I think I'm gonna do that this year. I think I'm gonna try and do like either try and find Gambit from X-Men. Or Aladdin, trying to like do a little bit of Aladdin.
I love that
kind of Disney bounding stuff. Haven't quite.
Can you say what the word is? Disney bounding.
Disney bounding. Yeah.
Okay.
It comes from Disneyland. You because when you go to Disneyland, Disneyland, Disney World. When you go to Disney Park, you're not allowed to dress up as the characters, right? It breaks the magic for the kids. So Disney adults will Disney bound. They'll incorporate the character into their what they're wearing, so that they're still dressing up, but they're not dressing up.
That's really cool. So like if I were to be Jasmine, I could just wear like a teal outfit and maybe a cool headband.
Yeah, so that would be, you're not truly dressing up as the character.
Turquoise or whatever color you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you're not like dressing up as the character, but you're incorporating the character's colors.
That's neat.
Yeah. It's a interesting way to just kind of like do, and I know people that do it in their day-to-day clothes. Like they have like outfits that are just...
This is my Ariel outfit.
Yeah, like they're just business casual Gambit or business casual...
I don't know who Gambit is.
He's an X-Man.
Okay, but which one?
Or the one that checks cards.
Okay.
Yeah. Or like Cyclops, or they have like clothes that are just based around characters.
I think I can get behind this idea, because we were invited to a Halloween party.
Yes.
Are you going?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go.
Okay, go.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm Disney bounding because it's the weekend of Halloween. Because Halloween
it's going to be the Thursday before, I think, and this is the Wednesday before, so that all stands to reason. This will be the Saturday.
Yeah, so I think I'm doing that. I'm gonna just do a Disney bound-esque character.
That's cool.
Which will make it easier because it's like you don't have to worry about like getting a true costume, and it's something you can actually like incorporate into your day-to-day clothing as well.
Yeah, a little nerd, but
well, I am a huge nerd. Listen,
would it be weird if you went as Aladdin and I went as Jasmine?
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we should do that.
That's a little too coupley, and that's not happening.
I do think it would be funny though.
That's a little too coupley. I'm not doing that.
Oh shit. Ooh. Shoot.
You're fine. It's fine. We were more than 5 minutes into the episode. No, we weren't.
Oh no, we weren't. Oh.
No, we're good.
You can edit it.
It's fine. Halloween. How do you feel about Halloween? Like I say, I love Halloween, but what do you feel?
I'm middle on Halloween. Like I would be and it's not a lack of wanting to dress up. I would be much more inclined to want to do like a themed party where everybody kind of dress up in a style at another time of year. If that makes any sense. Like a 70s party for somebody's birthday, or like a
You're more for like everyone having the same vibe.
Yeah, well, yes.
Cohesiveness.
A little, and it's not about the cohesiveness. I like a challenge of trying to meet like an expectation, but within the confines of a theme.
Yep.
Like I love costuming for stage and that kind of thing. Like I've done musicals and stuff.
Isn't the challenge of Halloween to be
it can be anything
super attractive while wearing a costume? Isn't that the challenge of?
But I'm not super attractive to begin with. I don't know, the challenge of Halloween for me, and then it's a little bit fraught for me too, because obviously it was fun to go around and get candy when I was a kid, and I think I probably told this story on last year's Halloween podcast, but I was a really tall kid. And I told the story about when I dressed up as the nurse from hell. My mom did a really good job making my face like a skeleton angry. It was really cool. And then I wore her friend's nurse's uniform, and I went door to door. But I was 5'7" or 5'5" or 5'6", or I was tall. I was a woman tall. I'm 5'7" now, and I was maybe only an inch shorter than I am now.
Yep.
And I was with two other girls who were also 10, but shorter than me. And I'll never forget that someone being like, "Aren't you a little old for this?"
Oh.
And I was like, "I'm 10." She's like, "Sure." And she gave my friends each like 2 or 3 candy treats and gave me just like a begrudging one.
Oh, gee. I don't get the "you're too old for this" thing.
Well, I saw a meme or something the other day that was like, don't begrudge the teenagers trick-or-treating.
Oh, yeah.
Because at least they're not doing drugs or something.
Yeah, I mean, they could also be doing drugs. Yeah. But I don't know. What's the point of shaming someone for doing that? Like, it's,
I mean, if they're doing it too late at night and everything shut down as 9 p.m., well, then they're rude. But
that's one thing. But if they're out with everyone else that's trick-or-treating,
not hurting anyone,
right? They are having fun and enjoying themselves and trying not to be destructive.
Yeah. What do you think of the evolution in terms of trick-or-treating evolution? And you talked about doing one today, day of recording, of the trunk or treat model versus going door to door in people's houses.
I think it's I have 2 minds. So the one we're doing tonight that we're going to is for people that are either disabled or have like autoimmune disease, things like that. We have to wear a mask and all that stuff. I think it's great for that type of person where it's it's better for them to be able to get out and do something that is secure and safe for them in a thought out manner, so that it's as best suited for them as possible. So I think that's definitely a great piece to it. But I don't know, when I was a kid, half the fun was going house to house and knocking on the door and saying trick or treat and having your bag out and people putting stuff in. So that, to me, there's a nostalgia thing when it comes to like the traditional trick or treating. But I think in today's day and age, also it's, I don't know, a little bit safer to do like the trunk or treat kind of style.
Yeah, the stranger danger thing is real. And it's interesting because I don't live in a place that people would ever go trick or treating in, because I live in a building, and so I'm not going to have candy there. Don't come to the top floor of my condo building. It's going to be a waste of time. But I don't know. It's a funny thing. I always enjoyed the trick or treating thing because it could go to a lot of houses and stuff, but it's kind of a stranger danger situation too when you look at it through a problematic lens. And there's some people who don't want to participate, and there's adults who are just like, don't knock on my door.
Don't knock on my door. Yeah. I think that's the other thing, is that there are people that don't want to participate, and I think that can, especially on like a busy street, can get annoying.
Right. Well, if you live in one of those neighborhoods that is very like like a suburban neighborhood with a lot of houses.
Right.
I mean, you can get upwards of 200 kids sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And that's definitely, there are people that just don't want to deal with that. We don't hand out candy for Halloween at our door. But we're also not on a particularly big space for people they typically just walk by and go up to the road up the street.
Right.
But yeah, I can imagine being on a busier, on one of those like side streets where everyone goes, like those subdivisions that it could get annoying if you weren't handing out candy.
Well, and you think with the inflation and everything, people are really struggling to even buy groceries, let alone treats for the kids. So the trunk or treat's a great model. Like if you have the means, you can go watch the cute kids in their costumes, which is, it is adorable to see kids out trick or treating. It really is. And then be done with it. And if you can't afford to participate or it's a challenge for you, you hate it.
Right. You don't have
to do.
Yeah. And I think that's I think that is, it's a great model for that as well. Like it allows people to, the biggest problem I find with the trunk or treat side of it is that you have to get people to get involved, and it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more effort.
Like right? I know my folks, my mom will always have candy for kids to come around and all that, but she has no interest in participating in a trunk or treat. Yeah.
The other problem is with being at home, if you have kids,
right?
How do you take your kids out yet still hand out candy?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. Like I remember being, obviously my parents came with me when I was very young, but when I was as young as I can't remember when the cutoff was. I remember 10 for sure. We were out just a group of friends. We didn't have any parents with us.
Yep.
And it was great because you felt that autonomy and that freedom to do your own thing and fill up bags of candy. And then we'd stop in at somebody's house, dump the pillowcase, and then go back out again for round 2.
Yeah. My dad always stayed home to hand out candy because he kind of his fun thing. He likes to hand out the candy and try and scare the kids. But my mom always, when we were young, came with us. And then when we got a little bit older, she would come with the car. We would walk around and she'd just be in the car.
Yeah.
And then eventually we got old enough that we were just
on our own.
On our own, yeah. And I trick-or-treated right up until I was probably 16.
I think I might really 16.
Yeah, I think that was the last time. There's two things with that. Like my neighborhood was a small neighborhood,
right? So you ever knew everybody?
Yeah, everyone knew everyone. So there was like the house across from me, the lady who lived there, from the time I was old enough to trick or treat, she always made up bags with my name.
Oh, that's sweet.
So there was always houses you just always went to. So me and my friends, we were 16 going to trick or treating at people's houses, but it was a small neighborhood where everyone knew everyone.
I think I was 11 or something the last time I went trick or treating, maybe 12. I don't know, not very old. And that 10-year-old experience did kind of scar me.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, I don't know, but I always had fun handing out candy at mom and dad's house. Oh man, one year it was awesome. My dad had this really creepy mask, and he dressed up with a plaid shirt and jeans or something and sat in a chair outside and sat completely still with this real creepy mask. So it looked like a decoration, like a spooky decoration. And then as a kid would walk by, he'd move an arm. Then he'd go, and oh man, people were creeped out. It was so funny.
My dad also did a similar thing. I think it was a pumpkin head he had though, but he would sit in the chair and he scared a kid so bad that he wouldn't go back to our house for a couple years.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, my dad liked scaring kids. And then when COVID was around, we did the I think a bunch of people you probably saw online, people did the not Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice snake head.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, so it was like the Beetlejuice snake, but it had the snake head at the end, and you slid candy down the slide so that it would drop down at the bottom, so that the kids didn't come up to the door and all that stuff.
Yeah. The pandemic. What a wild time.
What a wild time that was.
So how do you think? So now, in terms of our podcast and what we generally talk about, when you were trick or treating as a kid, how did you handle this candy? Were you
I ate it all. Not in a night, but within a week it was gone.
Same.
We did, so it was typically me and my sister, and so we would we'd lay our bags out and then we would trade.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Here, you like that, and we would trade. And then if it was like there was always cans of pop and chips, and my parents would take that aside and then just separate it so it was equally separated.
Right.
And then we would trade candy.
No, we were allowed to keep ours in our bedroom.
Yes, same.
And I put it on, and I remember like that first night just like eating till I was sick.
Yeah.
And then second night, same thing. And then by the third day it was gone, except for like maybe those those kiss candies, and then they were gone by the end of the week.
Yeah, I ate a lot of candy like the first couple days, and then it would last at least probably 2 weeks, but it was like the first couple days was like eat all the good stuff, and then it was like, all right, what do I got left? And then there's always those like really terrible the hard caramel ones in the orange Halloween wrapping.
Yeah, they're called the candy kisses.
Is that what they're called?
That's why, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking
they're
about.
the worst. They just got thrown out.
I love them. I love all sugar.
Yes, they just got thrown out. They were the worst.
And some of them are so like hard that they were not
like crunch and break your tooth. Oh no. I think that candy has kind of evolved too. The Halloween candies have
they're
evolved,
better.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, have you been to the dollar store lately? Like to see all the candy that's at the dollar store even?
Yeah, it's huge.
Crazy. Like the eyeballs and the like body parts, and it's so cool.
It is cool.
Do you have a fond memory of Halloween? Do you like any like fond memories? Clearly not.
Not like I mean, it was for me. It was always fun to get candy, of course, and like I've had, when I was growing up, a neighbor when I was really young, like 4 years old, she made me a clown costume. Like she sewed me a clown costume. It was really cute, and then that Nurse from Hell, I was so proud of that costume. Mom did such a good job on my face paint, and then later on, I remember one of my fondest memories of Halloween. I was maybe 19, 20. I was university age, and I was working a shift at Kent, and I was working on the switchboard that night, and I didn't have to, but I was invited to a party when my shift was over, but I had no costume planned. And then at the last second before I went to work, I thought of this idea because I needed to be able to execute it quickly or while I was working. I decided to dress up as a beach. And
okay.
Which sounds crazy. I would have this face painting book. And so I had face paints that I brought to work with me. I wore like beige corduroys and a blue shirt. So sand and water. Yeah. And then I painted my face. It was like really pretty. It was like shades of blue and like there were birds on it. Like, and it looked really cool. And I walked around. I was like, I'm a beach.
I'm a beach.
Because if there's an opportunity to make a pun, I will indeed make it.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I have a really fond memory, like a specific point in time, but I just remember the feeling of Halloween and the fun of just running around and knocking on people's doors and just getting candy and hanging out with friends and like that feeling.
Yeah, I don't like Halloween as I got a little older, like a teenager or young like teeny bopper in that age. It was less fun because I didn't have that many friends, and it was kind of an alienating time. And I remember people from my class would come to my door and be like, "Here's your treats," and like and stuff like that. And then I used to keep a pretty messy bedroom, still do. And one time, Mom went to hang up some clothes in my closet. I think I was about 12 or maybe 13. And she went to hang one thing up and ended up knocking everything out of my down. No. And she got real angry and tore every single thing out of my closet and piled it in the middle of the floor. Said, "You're not allowed to go trick or treating until this is all cleaned up." And she maintains today that it almost ended up on the front lawn.
Yeah, I have when I was younger, it was like just going from door to door, and that was fun. And then when I was in like middle school and even in high school, I had two friends that I always hung out with, and they lived down the street from me, and so we would just go out, and I met fond memories of just joking around and running around with them and knocking on doors and just being out and about with free, as it were.
Yeah, but I always had the kind of freedom every time I got on my bicycle when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know
remember
that little
I felt so, I went all over the place on my bicycle, like kilometers and kilometers, just everywhere. And it was amazing. And it seems so easy. And now, if you've ever gotten on a bicycle as an adult, you're like, this is not as easy.
we bought bikes a couple of years ago to ride, and we've ridden on them like twice. I ended up like one day a year, I don't know how it happened, but the sprocket broke, and now we haven't gotten it fixed.
So now you have a broken bike.
Yeah, we're broken. I just need to take it and get fixed, but it's just been like meh. Yeah, when I was in university, Halloween was a time of drinking. That was what it was, right? It was the excuse for everyone to go out and get drunk and dress up in whatever cool costume you could think of.
Yeah. I always kind of haphazardly participate in Halloween because I like to be part of things, and but it's never a high holiday for me.
Okay. It's one of my favorite. I think it's definitely in my top, like probably top 5, probably top 3 to be really honest.
I'm excited for the party that we're both going to.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
But I have no idea for a costume, and I've been so focused on job change and all this stuff that I'm really like
busy.
It's not.
Yeah.
But I'll think of something. And
well, yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do some sort of Disney bound character just to make it more casual and not have to worry about like a big old costume.
Yeah.
And this time of year, so there's also a thing in Halifax called HalCon that happens right around Halloween too, which I've done before, which is super fun, and that is where everyone really dresses up.
Yeah.
That's like cosplay and things like that.
Nerds.
So, yes, super nerds. So that one's super fun. I always look forward to seeing the pictures from that, just because they're super talented people in the Maritimes that can create things out of nothing. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I like Halloween. Halloween's great.
Cool. Well, this was fun.
Yes. Where can people find you on the internet?
Caitlin Dean. Sorry,
Caitlin Dean. just look Caitlin Dean up.
Where can people find you on the internet?
At Maritime Brews on all the social medias. You can find us at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook. And of course, we have our Buy Me a Coffee going still. If you wish to donate, that is appreciated. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast at, we appreciate you listening in on there. If you can like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff over there, it's appreciated. And of course, if you want to hop on over to YouTube and watch the video, come on over. And if you are watching on YouTube, if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff over here, it is also super appreciative. We always appreciate you all listening every week, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.